Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Flores and I am a singer-songwriter based in Toronto, and in this video I will be talking a little bit more about my second single called Lovesick. So as I mentioned in my Better This Way video, my sound is basically a fusion of pop, R&B, indie, and singer-songwriter. It takes the catchiness of pop music, the vibe of R&B, and then the honesty of indie and singer-songwriter, and just, it's all of that mushed together. That's me. That's my sound. Lovesick in particular, it's very, I'd say it's different. It's different from Better This Way. It's much more laid back, it's chill, like an R&B type of vibe, which is very different from Better This Way, which was more of a road trippy pop song. I remember when I was writing this song, I knew I was experimenting. I was up late at night and I was playing chords on my guitar and finger picking, which I don't usually do. And when I came up with the main riff, I was like, ooh, like I need to make a song out of this. And that's what I ended up doing. And that kind of feeling was very similar to when I wrote my song Trapped in Your Grasp, which is a song of my first EP called Wayfarer. And Trapped in Your Grasp is the same thing. It's something that I typically don't do in terms of my sound. And it was just at the time, it was much more modern sounding and it was not typical of my other songs, like If Only You Knew or I'm Doing Pretty Good. Like it sounded so different from the rest of the songs that I wrote at the time. And I felt like Lovesick was also one of those songs. It's very different, but it's like a good different. And I ended up really liking it. With him, got my feelings twisted, wanna be. So Introspective as a whole, my upcoming album, it's very inspired by the pop and R&B music of the 2000s. Lovesick in particular is more heavily leaning on the R&B side than it is on the pop side. I'd say the song, subject-wise and sonically, is very inspired by artists like Usher and Genuine and Joe, Neo, and even TLC. Definitely that R&B vibe, that slow jam type of tempo, like just, yes. What is Lovesick about, you may ask? Well, it's pretty much in the title of the song, like, you are lovesick over someone, like you're so obsessed over someone that you are sick, like you actually get sick. You can either be so obsessed with someone that you just totally act positively out of your character, or you can be so obsessed with someone that you can't function normally. Like you don't know how to act, you don't know how to carry yourself. And I think Lovesick takes the latter part of that and adds a little bit of jealousy into the mix and a little bit of envy. Yeah, it's just kind of like a, ooh, like I really want this person so bad that I'm sick. Basically, this person is just like a drug to you and you're just so addicted, you can't give them up. But until you really have the courage to go up to them and tell them how much you are obsessed with them, you'll just stay lovesick. I'm so caught up in debating. So I kind of touched on this earlier. So Lovesick kind of started with me in my room late at night, just jamming out on my guitar, and I was finger picking, which I don't usually do. What I usually do is just strum open chords and they're very bright and happy and summery. Whereas this one was, I wouldn't say it was sad, but it was very like, it wasn't happy either. It was very R&B inspired and I was playing the chords on my guitar that night and it wasn't actually easy to play. Like I came up with the chords and I was like, I don't know if I can play this on this guitar, or I don't know if this song would be appropriate to be played on an acoustic guitar. So what I did is I opened up Pro Tools and I opened up MIDI and I programmed the chords. And then once I heard it back, I was like, ooh, okay, I have something I can work with. And I built upon that using MIDI. So I programmed some drums, I programmed some synths and keys and all that kind of stuff. And I just needed a way to lay down all my ideas that night, and shout out to Pro Tools and MIDI. I know Pro Tools is not the best program to be using MIDI in, but it's what I had. So once I came up with the instrumental demo, I started writing to the song. And again, like I mentioned, it was very inspired by R&B artists of the late 90s and early 2000s. And a lot of those songs back then were about love. love and R&B, and either being in love or yearning for love or wanting love from somebody. And I just felt like that subject matter was very appropriate for this type of song that I was writing. And then fast forward 3 years later, in 2019, that is when I pitched the demo version of this song to one of my producers, Denise, and pretty much the rest is history. And here we are, released as a second single off of my album. I can't stop thinking. So the people behind Lovesick, it's pretty much the same people that were behind the production of Better This Way. So Denise is the producer of this track, and I initially pitched this song to her. This was the first song that I pitched to her ever since we met about doing this project together. And I remember her first reaction, and it was just so, it was so great to see someone react to a demo like that in the way that she did. And I could tell that she was very excited to do it. She's very excited to take on this project. And honestly, it turned out really, really well. I love how this song turned out. So shout out to you, Denise, for killing it, for trusting me, and for taking the time to basically put in and apply everything you've learned and everything you know about producing music and vocals and all of that kind of stuff. Thank you so much again for being part of this project. I also want to give a shout out to Waleed. Waleed is the studio owner. Thank you so much again for letting us use your space to bring Lovesick together and to bring most of the songs that we did for the album together. And I also want to thank him for the input that he gave and all of the help he provided when we were in the studio, setting up mics, checking levels, all like the studio engineering type of stuff. Thank you so much for helping us get this song off the ground and to the point where it is right now. I love it. Thank you. And then we have our session musicians, Andrew and Ron. So Andrew is the drummer and Ron is the bassist. And Lovesick is actually the first song that both of these musicians played on for the record. And after hearing their performance back for the first time, I was like, bruh, I gotta have these people on for more songs on the album. And that's exactly what happened. So thank you to Andrew and Ron for playing on this record. I really and truly appreciate you taking the time to lay down your skills and showcase them. Shout out to Denise again for introducing me to these musicians, because if it wasn't for her, I would have never known about these musicians. So great job. Thank you. And then we have Jesse Barrera. You've heard this name multiple times on my vlogs and in my videos. Jesse Barrera was the mixing engineer for this album and for Lovesick. I'm so glad to have Jesse part of this project. He's just such a big inspiration to me. And recently he's been releasing a lot of really cool projects with different artists. He's gonna blow up if he hasn't already. Like, he's gonna blow up. And I'm so glad to say that he's also been part of my project, Introspective. And last but not least, we have Noah Mintz. Thank you for putting the finishing touches on Introspective and on Lovesick. Again, my experience with Noah in the studio was so great. It was so eye-opening. And I learned a lot about mastering just from observing what he does. And he does it really well. So shout out to him for being part of this project and for being the mastering engineer for these songs. So the lyric video for Lovesick was pretty interesting. I wanted it to kind of resemble like me writing a love letter to somebody, and that's where the writing on the index card, like the act of writing it out, that's where that idea came from. Better This Way was more of like shots at Sugar Beach and then text over top, and I wanted this one to be a little bit different. So I actually went out, bought index cards, bought Sharpies, and then even bought like a special adapter for my camera stand so I could mount it directly above my desk so it faces the desk. And yeah, I learned a lot doing this lyric video, like how to time lapse and how long it actually takes, and if you mess up you got to do it over again. It's just bruh. But I feel like the finishing product for the lyric video for Lovesick, I think it turned out really great. It's really cool to watch it back and see it all like fast forwarded, and it looks really cool and in time with the music. Yeah. But basically the idea is I was writing the song out to that person that I was lovesick over. That's basically the idea of the lyric video. When you're around, my breath is all. We are in the second single now. We have one more single coming up, and I've already announced it. It's called Eyes on You, and it's coming out on Friday, March 6th. So I'm so excited to release that and share that with y'all. Eyes on You has a really interesting story, and again, I will be posting a video like this for Eyes on You, kind of going behind the scenes and talking about how that song came together. Apart from that, I am also planning out a live show, also going to be in March. A lot of people have been asking me to do a live show, and I haven't done one in a while, so I wanted to do one. This is more of a thank you show for everyone that has been so supportive, and it's still in the works. I will announce it when it's official, but I will be doing a live show in March. And then obviously the album release will be in May, specifically Friday, May 15th, 2020. And I will also be doing a live show for the album release. I'll be playing pretty much the album from top to bottom, hopefully with a live band. So there's that. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, and what's to come after that? Who knows? Who knows where I will be after Introspective comes out. Yeah. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you took anything away from it or learned something from it, give it a like, click that thumbs up button for me, as well as subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/rfloresvlogs for my vlogs, and youtube.com/ryanflores for my music videos on my music channel on YouTube. Hit the bell to get notified of whenever I post a new video on this channel. And thank you again for listening to and sharing my second single, Lovesick. I really and truly appreciate all of the support that I've gotten over the last few months since I released Better This Way, and I'm really looking forward to what's to come. So thank you. All right, I will see you guys next week. Bye. Someone like you is hard.